Hiya, chums. How you doing? Welcome to episode 17 of Tabletop Sessions. Ipo's back for this episode, and all four of us go through the games that we're most anticipating at the upcoming Essen Spiel convention. And I think it's a good time. We talk about some good stuff. This whole episode's all upside down. We start with the top three, move on to the discussion, and then eventually end up at the game show of the week. I'm sure you can figure it out. You're smart. If you're interested in telling stories and a group of guys and gals coming together and talking about building a world together, whether you could use that for an RPG campaign, you could use that just to help your imagination, you can use that just as a way, like as if you're reading and exploring a new fantasy world or sci-fi world or anything, alternate history world that that you just fall into and fall in love with. If you're interested in any of what I'm talking about, check out our sister podcast, Storysmith's Podcast. The last episode was suggested by one of their listeners, and it was basically a discussion on what would happen in a world where only the villains of all IPs exist. And I'm not going to spoil too much, but basically it's called Lex Luthorica, and it's this deep, heavy conversation about the nature of evil. But it's fun at the same time. I think you guys would like it, and I'd really appreciate it if you go check them out. Check them out on Twitter at Storysmithscast. That's StorysmithsCast. Storysmithscast. Check them out on Twitter. Follow them and tell them we sent you, and just enjoy. And until that happens, we hope you really enjoy this episode 17. I'd like to take another opportunity to ask you guys to go on iTunes or on your podcast app of choice and basically review us and give us any rating you'd like and any review you'd like, because all these reviews really help us get noticed, and short of just being a part of this podcast financially or otherwise, that is the best way to help us grow. And it's worth so much. So we appreciate you listening. We love you. And we hope you enjoy this one. And if you're on your way to Essen Spiel, have a great one. We'll miss you. No. All right. I'm gonna trade you 2 sheep for that wood. Tell me, honey, does that sound good? 'Cause all I really wanna do is take away longest road from you, yeah. Welcome to these tabletop sessions. Welcome to these tabletop sessions. Hello, fellow gregarious geeks and gamers. Welcome to the 17th episode of the Tabletop Sessions Podcast, where we talk about all things tabletop related that have been occupying the hearts and minds of this international group of gamers over the course of the last 3 weeks. My name is Elias, and with me this week are my top 3 people that I anticipate seeing every day of my life. Ipo's back. Say hi, guys.
Hi, guys. Dima here.
Hello, this is Ipo.
And this is Byron.
Ipo, we missed you last week. I got a lot of comments about the lack of terrible, awful jokes in the last episode.
I miss you too, guys.
Yeah, sounds like it. Thanks.
Yeah. You're just vacationing in Greece, enjoying yourself.
Exactly.
I see you eating Greek yogurt and playing Flux with your daughter.
Greek yogurt with Greek strawberries, honey, and nuts.
Okay. I mean, I'm not convinced that Greek strawberries are a thing, but
That's true. But my mother-in-law's strawberries are a thing. They're amazing.
I believe that. Okay. Well, good news for me and Dima. Ipo's coming to visit in 2 days. Yay! Well, he's going to live in our house. So, how long before the yay turns into a?
When are you leaving again?
In 2 days.
It's gonna be a couple of nights only. So.
But you're coming back after that, no?
Oh yes, don't give anything away.
No, you understand that all this is going to happen before this episode comes out, right?
That's
Like
true.
basically, you'll be back by the time the episode comes out. So, yeah.
Surprise.
He didn't even give us a chance to miss him.
I miss him every day.
Oh,
Guys,
No.
I have I don't know if I'm listening to a song right now. Am I? I mean, can you hear anything? I mean,
No.
is this
I can hear. I can hear
is this
some.
an Hippocratic corner? Is this an Hippocratic corner coming? Because I know this.
sure,
Guys.
why not?
Because, guys, this week we'll be shaking things up and starting off with the top 3. So I want to start with the Hippocratic corner, and the Hippocratic corner will be the top 3 anticipated Essen 2019 games.
Well,
Woohoo!
we were
Hey.
supposed to go to Essen this year. We booked the hotel. Well, Ipo booked the hotel for us. Everything was ready, and then I got my confirmation of immigration to Canada, and so everything had to change. So
Wait, but you forgot to mention Ipo booked the hotel,
and then
canceled his credit card before canceling the hotel.
Okay, that's
booking.
private information. Okay, we don't want any identity theft happening. But basically, because I couldn't go, Dima didn't want to go, and because Dima didn't want to go, Ipo's wife didn't want to go, and because Ipo's wife didn't want to go, Ipo wasn't allowed to go, and Ricardo and Filippo are not going because we're not going. So I'm sorry, but
Yep, that's all Elias's fault.
And because of all this, my best memory from Essen is still Byron memory. Oh,
great.
yeah. Last year's Essen, baby.
What did I do?
I was there
Playing
too.
the mind.
Yeah, because I felt Elias felt left out there.
I felt really jealous
No.
for a minute.
Okay, Elias was
because I was
there.
playing the mind with you, so it's kind of
Yeah,
fucked
but
up.
playing
that you-
No, but you weren't the best memory.
guys, do you guys remember playing my version of the mind?
I do.
Yeah, with a deck of cards. When
That's
we played
the-
yours, I completely understood why people don't like the game. But when I played the actual mind, I got it totally. All right, guys, let's not waste any more time. Let's get going.
Yes, who wants to go first? In this top 3 anticipated Essen 2019 games.
Dima.
Okay, Dima, yeah, go first.
So, my number 3 is On the Origins of Species. Wow. Designed by Gerard Asensi and Ferran Renalias, artist Amelia Sales, and the publisher Montaber. So, you're assisting Charles Darwin during the Beagle journey across the Galapagos Islands, discovering new species and researching them to improve your knowledge. I actually Googled this, and turns out the Beagle is the ship, which reached the Galapagos Islands on September 15th.
The what island?
Galapagos? What
Yeah.
did I say?
Galapagos.
The Galapagos Islands on September 15th, 1835. And it took them nearly 4 years to get there. They set off from Plymouth, England. Basically,
What did they use? Ryanair?
So basically, the visit to the Galapagos Islands was the starting point of Darwin's success. That's where he developed his theories on evolution, and he had 34 days to collect species and record his observations on the island. So in the game, you have two actions that you can do. You can either research, you put 2 research pieces on 2 different species tiles on the board, gaining the knowledge of air, land, and water habitats. And your other option is you can discover. So you use these habitats, like acquired knowledge that you get, to place new species tiles on the board, basically recipe fulfillment. And then this gives you victory points. And then you get evolution, character, and objective cards, and you advance the Beagle on its track. So the game ends when the Beagle reaches the last space on the trip, leaving the archipelago through New Zealand, and the players then score their points. In terms of gameplay, I didn't feel like this was like a revolutionary game style, but the story behind it and feeling like you're doing research along the path of Charles Darwin, and the cards that you reveal are from his like discoveries and his notes, which is great. So that's my number 3, mostly for the story.
It's a very cool theme.
Yeah.
Do you know why? Like, he could do that research in that archipelago, but it wasn't really. You couldn't do that research on a mainland.
No.
Well, think about like if you had a common ancestry of, say, squirrels or turtles or whatever, and then the land split into 2 islands, and there was no way for one of the populations to reach the other one, but they were so close in proximity that you knew they came from a common ancestor, and then you saw the differences. That is essentially natural selection and adaptation to evolution. So
That's amazing.
it's very cool. I mean, as a person who focused on evolution in my college degree, this like the theme had me going all the way, and I'd be very much down to play it.
Me too.
And this is the reason we need to go to Galapagos at some point. And to the other, there is also one other island outside Yemen, right? That is separated with special species of plants and animals.
I mean, there's a lot of archipelagos in the world. It's not just 2.
I don't know. This is amazing.
Yeah, it is. I agree.
What's number 2, Dima?
Okay, so my number 2 is Coloma, designed by
Coloma, no?
Yeah, Coloma. What did I say?
I don't know. Is it Coloma? Coloma?
Coloma.
It's Spanish, isn't it?
But it's 1 L in Spanish. If it's 1 L, it's still.
I know nothing.
So this town, the game was designed by Johnny Pack Canton, and the artist is Mihajlo Dimitrievsky. The publisher is Final Frontier Games. So you're in this town of Coloma, and it's the California Gold Rush of 1849, which was triggered. Basically, someone found gold, and the word spread like the plague. Can I say that?
Yeah, you could say that. Some people might get mad at us on Twitter, but it's okay.
Hippo's back.
So, in this game, you're a pioneer coming to get rich and make a name for yourself. You're prospecting for gold, and you're going to recruit workers and rustle up horses and establish businesses. But most importantly, you need to take on other pioneers that had the same idea as you and came to make a name for themselves and get rich. So you need to be cunning to not go bust. And I'm going to explain what going bust is in a bit. So basically the game, it's divided in chapters. During every chapter, all players have to simultaneously select an action to perform. Then you all reveal your actions. And if the majority of players choose the same action, it's a bust. And it disables the boom bonus, which I don't really understand now, but apparently it's not very good. So then
It's
players...
Coloma.
It's
Sorry,
Coloma?
It's, yeah, the L is not
Yeah,
soft.
great. So Coloma. So the players do their actions, and then a section of the board rotates, okay? And it slightly changes the layout of the game. When the rotating section hits the high noon, the round ends with a big bang, and then there's a shootout against the outlaws. So you all have to commit your gunmen, and like you have to come together. Sort of, it reminded me a bit of like Game of Thrones, when the White Walkers come and you have to like come together, or
Archipelago.
yeah. So you're all sort of competing, but at the end of every round, you need to share to defeat these gunmen. To defeat the outlaws. So whatever gunmen's, if you lose, whatever gunmen's you've like dedicated, you get rid of. Like you lose them, they go to the graveyard. And if you win, you guys get rewarded. So if you want to screw over other people that really need their few gunmen, you can
What's
not
interesting
contribute.
about this game is it used to be called Hangtown, and I had heard a lot of good things about Hangtown in terms of gameplay, but it was hideous. I mean, it just looked awful, and it just looked like someone was using crappy stock photos and a really basic understanding of Microsoft Word for the graphic design. And so because of that, the game never got the reputation it deserved to get. So now he's reprinting it as Coloma. So this is actually a remake of the game Hangtown. So
And it looks really nice.
yeah, it's very bright and vibrant.
Yeah,
and pretty.
it looks great. And it has this like desert feel to it. The colors are kind of beigey. So basically, the game ends after the third shootout, and the player with the most point wins. So you need to play efficiently and bend the rules to your advantage and try to convince other players to give up their gunmen. And I just thought it was a nice competitive, but also sort of kind of co-op in some aspects of the game. And I just thought it would be fun to try.
Till now, I love both the themes of the games you picked. I mean, gold digging and what was and the origins of species. I mean, these are amazing.
Geology and zoology.
What's your
Yeah.
Also, please don't call my wife a gold digger.
So my number one, following last week's review of Escape Tales: The Awakening, this week I'm gonna talk about Escape Tales: Low Memory. Woohoo!
Yeah, I'm so excited about this.
Thank you, Ipa. Thanks for the excitement. Me too. Okay, so the designer is Jacob Kaban and Bartosz Idzikowski.
It's the same designers.
Yes, same designers. Let's just go with that. And the publisher is Board and Dice.
Same publisher.
By the way,
Basically,
these designers are designing escape rooms, not board games. Guys, seriously, they have escape rooms in Poland.
Okay. All right. If you say so.
So Low Memory is the next title in the Escape Tales product line. What I did notice was The Awakening has its playtime as 3 to 6 hours, and Low Memory has a playtime at 6 to 9 hours. So I really wouldn't suggest playing it in one playthrough.
They never did for the first one either.
If you didn't listen to last week's episode, it's the same as The Awakening. It's a story-driven escape room in a card game, sort of, and there's no time limit. You just solve puzzles and try to escape the rooms. And there's a story, so every choice you make throughout the story affects the ending or like the next revelations that appear. So apparently it's a standalone story. You can enjoy it regardless of having played The Awakening. And the story is based in 2060.
Wow. Ipo will be 180 years old.
Wow.
So Elizabeth and her family are going on a trip and she has to work a bit late. Next thing she knows, she wakes up in her home sofa and the apartment is trashed as if someone had broken in, but she has no memory of it.
That's
So
such an
Elizabeth-
original story.
I know. Wait for it. Ready? Elizabeth decides to use the memory scanner, which is a bit flaky apparently. And so in this game, there are 3 stories from 3 different characters.
So basically, you officially know the entire story. Dima's read that. That's all the story that's in the game. Instead of going on a magical adventure through a spell book this time, you're going through a memory scanner.
Which makes sense.
And apparently, there are 3 stories, and you'll be playing 3 different characters.
Oh wow!
But they're all
so we're
tied
not
into
all
the
a guy
same-
named Sam.
No, this time we're going to be 3 different
No.
people. And apparently, every different person interacts with the room differently. So I don't know if by differently they mean like illogically, because that's how it was last time. But I'm super excited.
Yes,
And
me too.
if
me
you
too.
want to know how much I like the Escape Tales like family of games, you can listen to episode 16.
Thank you, Dima, very much for this top 3. Let's go to Byron. Byron, tell us your top 3 anticipated games.
So mine are a little bit weird because I based them on games that had no rating and not much pictures to go on, which is kind of what you'd expect when you go to a convention. You don't know much about the games that you're going to see. So my number 3 is Maiko. It is a memory game for 2 to 4 players, age 9 and up. It's basically, it looks like a bit like set collection, and you're going to have to try and find items and compete with other players. It's very simple, very light. But it's set in Japan, so it should be pretty beautiful.
Oh, so the Japan is the reason you picked it.
Pretty much. I also like the name Maiko. It just sounds nice.
That's a
Those
legitimate
are, those, are
reason.
some, those are some high standards you have there, Byron.
My number 2 is also based on box art.
In Japan,
It's called Skytopia in the Circle of Time.
it looks so pretty. It looks so pretty.
It looks really pretty. It sounds like a pretty standard engine building Euro game. There's not much more I can really say on that. When you read the description for the game, it says, in this game, time matters. You can perform the construction of the building quickly, but then you have to pay more resources. So there's a clock that can determine the cost of building. So maybe there's some interesting mechanics that could be coming out. I'd like to see more photos from them. I'd
Yeah,
definitely like to see a proper game through review of it.
I
You
can't
see,
even find
when
a
you
picture
look
of
at
the
when you look
board.
at the art, it seems like it's going to be a light game. But the designer also did Smartphone Inc., which was a nice economic game. So, and it had some substance to it. So
What
it
is
makes
the
me
name of
hope
the game again?
Skytopia. So it makes me hopeful that this game, even though it looks really pretty, also has some substance and some meat to it. Because if it does, like those two things together are, huge for me. So
No, exactly. And if we can hit that sweet spot of rules complexity and Euro building, it could be quite an investment.
yeah, inshallah, we'll see. Let's see what it looks. Let's see how it is. That's definitely one to look forward to. Nice choice.
And the last one on my list is So You've Been Eaten.
Oh, that one looks cool.
This is my number 1. It's published by Ludi Creations, designer Scott Alms of the Tiny Epic Kingdoms.
And I think the
various
art's
ton-
Kwanchai, and I really like Kwanchai's.
Yeah, Kwanchai Maria. What I found interesting about the game is that it's a game for 0 to 2 players. So you can have the AI versus the AI, and you just have to play out their actions for them.
That's true.
Just watch the game.
You could just sit there literally and watch the game unfold. I think the idea of the game is like you're inside an animal or some sort. You're inside a beast of some leviathan.
Yeah. So basically, and So You've Been Eaten, the miner and the beast will face off against one another. This is directly from BGG. The miner earns points by collecting crystals, and the beast earns points by developing immune responses and by its bacteria attacking the miner. So the miner doesn't realize he's inside the beast, and the beast is trying to digest him.
Exactly. Yeah. The thing
I
is
think
amazing.
it's super cool. I think it's cool that you can play it solo. You can play. I think there's different modes. I think there's co-op and competitive or something, and there's ways to play and let the AI play
Yeah.
the other. So it's nice that they're doing something different, and it's very bold of any company to go for a game with such a low player count. A lot of people will be scared off by a 0 to 2 player count. A lot of people wouldn't buy a game just because they can't play it with their group of 4 or whatever. So it's nice that this company went forward and invested in good art. And
Yeah.
hats off to them. I'd really love to try it. It's been on my list of like things I want to see in action. You know what I mean? Like it's so strange a concept that I
Yeah.
really want to see how it works. So
Looks pretty cool. Yeah, I have read the blog of the designer showing how they developed the game. Looks very interesting.
yeah,
Okay, Byron,
Yeah.
that was amazing. But I want to hear some more heavy games in this top 3. So let's go to Elias.
Sorry.
I'm offended that you think I'm one-dimensional. That being said, my list is 3 heavy games.
Oh, yeah. I'm so happy now.
Number 3 is PAX Transhumanity.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah, you thought it'd be my number 1, huh? Okay, PAX Transhumanity is in the Sierra Madre PAX system. So PAX Porfiriana, PAX Renaissance, PAX Pamir, PAX Emancipation, of which I have all of these games.
What's the common thing between them?
PAX means peace in Latin.
Yeah, so the common thing is peace.
Oh, the common thing is the market system.
Oh, really? So you buy the cards.
Yeah, and they're all basic tableau building games, etc. But for example, in PAX Porfiriana, there's a lot more strawman actions versus in PAX Pamir, there's a lot more to do with the map and actual like control of different areas. And PAX Emancipation is a co-op. So it's like it depends. They change the system, but at its core, if you can figure out one, you can kind of figure out the others. Except PAX Renaissance, I still don't know how to play that.
Oh no.
In fact, I'm working on it, Ipo. I'm working on it. PAX Transhumanity is designed by, I believe, Matt Eklund, who is the son of Phil Eklund, who is the founder of Sierra Madre Games. Now, I think this is the first one where Matt Eklund designs by himself. Usually he designs in collaboration with his father. It looks pretty. It looks great. It's a PAX game. It's going to be fantastic. My reason for putting it at number 3 instead of number 1, as some people would expect, is because I'm not as interested in the theme of future utopia. I mean, the theme is basically saying, what if all these people who say the world's going to fall apart? Well, they're probably wrong. More likely, free market is going to lead to all these things where science and technologists expand the human condition into culture and science and I don't know what. And that sounds great. It's probably bullshit. So just because of that, it engages me a little bit less. I like engaging with, PAX Porfiriana because of the messiness of the political spectrum and the people that were trying to take the place of Porfirio Diaz. I like PAX Emancipation because it's fighting against slavery. PAX Pamir because it's British-Russian control in Afghanistan. Like, it's real things,
So you find enjoyment in darkness.
No, I find enjoyment in reality. And I feel like PAX Transhumanity is a utopian dream. It's kind of obsessed with the idea of the free market and that rich people are going to take care of the rest of us. But whatever. I'm not here to comment on his politics. But at the end of the day...
Shout out to Elon Musk.
At the end of the day, I'm very excited to play it. Not as excited as the theme as all the other historical themes. So it's my number 3, PAX Transhumanity. My number 2 is Roman Roll, which is designed by Nick Shaw and David Turchi. David Turchi, who has done a lot of other designs, including not Kitchen Rush, the new one. He did Anachrony.
And
he did
Kitchen Rush.
Cerebria. He did Kitchen Rush. He did Rush MD. So, I like everything I've played of his so far. It's published by PSC Games. Now, here's the interesting thing. Roll and writes in general have tended to be light games. My favorites are Ganz schön Clever, Welcome to, St. Malo. They tend to be quite light games. These guys are under the impression of, well, what if it wasn't? What if it was a legitimate Euro? And then we kind of made it cheaper because it was a roll and write. And I think that's super cool. So it's nice that it'll be a smaller box. It looks cool. The theme is very similar to Trajan. So you're after the fire in Rome, you're rebuilding Rome. Whoever rebuilds it the best is the bestest Roman. So that's kind of the theme. But that's what you're doing. And I'm really excited about the idea. I've always liked the feeling of rolling dice and then writing on a sheet. So the fact that I can do that and actually make proper big decisions is a big deal for me. So it's on Kickstarter right now when you hear this. So yeah, Ipo.
I've heard it's a heavy roll and write. How cool is that?
It's literally what I've been talking about for the past 3 minutes.
What?
Literally
Yeah.
what I've been talking
He
about.
just
I did-
said-
Okay.
I'm excited.
Okay.
just
lost you.
cut that out.
I lost you in the first minute. Sorry.
Okay. So as Ipo so wonderfully pointed out, it's a heavy roll and write, and that of course engages me with it. So when I just look at the different like ability sheets, so you can pick different sheets which give you different powers and actions in the game. They're so detailed and there's so much stuff that I just get excited. So Roman Roll, check it out. It's on Kickstarter right now, actually. And my number one is not a game, it is an expansion. I'm not the biggest fan of expansions in general.
Me either.
Because I don't like learning new rules for games that I've wrapped my head around finally. But this one does not require any new rules. Through the Ages, New Leaders and Wonders. I played Through the Ages well over 20, 25 times, and I need some more stuff in it, basically.
Really?
Yeah, and this game, I feel like gives you new strategies, because having new leaders and new wonders gives you completely different strategies that you can follow, because leaders and wonders really impact the way you play the game. So it would give you a lot of new strategies, and I believe there's a ton of them in the pack. It give you a lot of new strategies without changing much in the way of rules. So you could literally just add them in, or I don't know how you shuffle or whatever it is, but at least you don't have to read a whole rule book. You're just playing with new people and like, okay, now with this game, instead of Einstein, I don't know who, I have Cleopatra, and how does that impact the way that my game plays?
Yeah, it just adds more strategy options,
yeah,
more
variant
variety.
Also, I feel like there's a lot of
Yeah.
people that we play with that have kind of figured out this is how I play the game, and it's an unbeatable strategy. At least one person that I know of who we can't beat, Ipo's brother-in-law. So he's just figured it out. So if you throw some variety in there, at least
Shout
I'll have
out to Patsachufis.
Shout out. At least I'll have a chance while he's figuring out how to break this new expansion too. So that's my number one. Through the Ages, New Leaders and Wonders.
Nice.
Nice. So it was, as expected, it was 3 heavy games. What I was not expecting is that you've stolen my intro, because I was gonna say, guys, my number 3. You all know my distaste about expansions, but but my number 3 is Robinson Crusoe expansion, Mystery Tales, because I feel
Interesting.
I feel that Robinson Crusoe is a great game, and at some point you're gonna play all these 10 scenarios, and you're gonna need at some point these new scenarios to play. So this is not really an expansion; it's new scenarios.
Yeah.
But you're not forgetting, this is like the 3rd expansion.
And yeah, but the good thing is there is a campaign now there. Woohoo!
That is not a good thing. There's nothing good about that.
This campaign is designed by Ignacy himself and Joanna Kidzanka, who designed also some expansions for Imperial Settlers. And together with the campaign, it's coming with a set of rules and components that can be played with the base game, plus 2 standalone scenarios. So I think it's pretty cool for Robinson Crusoe lovers. Okay, not for Elias.
First of all, I like Robinson Crusoe. Secondly, I'm just looking here, and there's so many expansions for Robinson Crusoe.
Like he said, Robinson Crusoe lovers, not people that like it.
I don't know. Yeah, fine. If you have played it 1,000 times and want to play it another 10 times, go for
True.
it. I guess.
Apparently,
True.
Ipo's an enthusiast.
I didn't even know Ipo liked Robinson Crusoe.
He's a lover.
I had a great time playing it with Lena, 2 players.
I don't know if you did.
So,
Okay, all right.
guys, that was my number 3, Robinson Crusoe Mystery Tales. My number 2 is On Mars, a new game from Vital Lacerda, which is our
Not
favorite
even
guy.
close to being a new game.
What do you mean? It shouldn't be there?
I mean, it's already in the hands of Kickstarter backers.
Oh yes. Oh no.
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, we spoke about it in like episode.
Yeah, we
11,
talked about it in our Origins anticipation list.
I know that, but still I haven't played it, and I'm really excited to see it there or anywhere. So I'm not gonna spend a lot of time on Mars. It's
I think in general we shouldn't spend a lot of time on your list. Based on what I need.
I hope it's a heavy terraforming Mars that I traded away. And the theme is amazing, so I hope it's gonna be fine for everybody. And my number 1 is High Frontier for All, Phil Eklund.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Now we're getting somewhere.
Sierra Madre Games.
Okay.
Actually, the site says it's the game is gonna be out in 2020, so I guess it's gonna be a demo there in Essen. And this turns actually the High Frontier game, the original High Frontier, into a game system open for additions and modules. So it's gonna be great, I guess. It's Phil Eklund, it's Sierra Madre, it ticks all boxes. And also with this game, we can pass to the next discussion point.
That's what I wanted to talk to you about.
Yeah.
So would you like to introduce people to the controversy surrounding this game?
Yeah. Drama.
Okay. So at some point, I saw on Twitter a tweet saying that you should never do that. Okay. I don't really remember it, so I think Elias is the best person to.
All right. It was a tweet. Thanks, Eva. Thanks for that. It was a tweet from Ian O'Toole, and who is a fantastic designer. Actually, the artist of On Mars. So another connection right there.
Could say follow.
He said, the best advice I can give to any creative person is to never take part in this kind of nonsense.
Yeah.
And what he tagged was a forum discussion about High Frontier for All. Apparently, the new publisher of High Frontier, which is Ion Game Design, this basically posted a thing saying, you guys can submit your art for the game, for the cover, and whoever wins will get a copy of the game.
No, they'll get $100.
Oh, something like that. Yeah. It was something small.
Mm-hmm.
It was like $100, and you get to build your portfolio. Now, the reason that this is an issue is because basically, are you looking for amateur level art? Because if you are, then you can do this with amateurs. But if you're looking for something worth publishing, worth showing, you're basically trying to co-opt the work of people who do this for a living at a cheaper price on the whole concept of it being a competition. But essentially, you're paying $100 for something that should cost thousands.
But some people were arguing that that wasn't the point, that board gamers had raised concerns that the art wasn't related to the game. It didn't make any sense. It didn't represent our solar system. And there were many things that were illogical. And so they were saying that that they were reaching out to the board game community to appease the concerns that were raised about the art. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and there's ways to do that.
Yeah.
Saying, oh, here's a competition for $100, come up with a new cover is not the way to do that. Pay your damn artist, right? Like, you are going to be making money off of this. This is probably going to go on Kickstarter. This is probably going to make you make hundreds of thousands of dollars, if not tens of thousands of dollars. Whatever your markup is on that game, you're going to make some money. So pay your damn artist. Include that in the cost of the game. But don't try to fucking get an artist on the cheap by disguising it as a competition and a way to pad up your resume and then say, oh, I'm doing it because you guys wanted us to do it. I completely disagree that, like, for example, there's a hilarious one. Some guy just made a painting in Microsoft Paint, clearly, and wrote in Comic Sans, High Frontier for All. And then he landed a ship that kind of looks like a dildo on a circular planet. And he wrote on it, the HMS Exposure. because that's what they're offering people. If you win, you'll get exposure. And it's like, really, that's what you're trying to do? It's like trying to pay a plumber. Let's say a plumber comes, fixes your house, and you offer the plumber, the guy says, okay, it's going to cost you $500. You say, all right, I'll give you $10 and a shout out on my Instagram page. Like, no, the guy's trying to make a living, and artists are trying to make a living. And it's hard enough as it is. Not that I am one, but it's hard enough as it is for someone to be, I don't know. To me, it really upset me.
Guys, there is some experience with architectural competitions, okay, where there is an award, but in the end, you're going to pay the guy that you're going to get his job. Higher, exactly.
Mhm.
Even more money.
Mhm.
I mean, at least pay the same that you're going to spend in a professional, to a professional illustrator. So,
That's
yes,
right.
I think everybody's in Ian O'Toole's side on this one. But at the same time, I'm going to say that the guys from, was it from Sierra Madre, I think?
No, it's
Uh,
Ion something games.
They were trying to justify their decision by saying that they were trying to make a fuzz from the board game community and the people that are there, and maybe in the end they were going to hire a professional illustrator anyways. And in the end, of course, they saw that this was going nowhere, and they canceled the competition. Yeah.
Yeah, we should say the
Okay.
council was. They did see that people were not okay with this, and they did cancel it. And I hope they pay a good illustrator and get a nice cover done. Because really, like when it comes to Phil Eklund games, the games are so solid, and High Frontier is so well regarded. So
Mhm.
it's just a shame to be, tied up in this bullshit. So that's not to say don't buy this game. Definitely buy the game based on the merits of the game. And kudos to the publisher for eventually realizing, no, we should cancel this and we should say this is not the way to go. But I mean, I guess it's a mistake if you don't see the right perspective. But I totally understand Ian O'Toole's perspective on this as well.
So that was a pretty good list of games that we got so far. Other games that we can talk about for hours that we're not is games such as Maracaibo by Alexander Pfister, It's a Wonderful World, Cooper Island, 1941 Race to Moscow, Western Empire's New Mega Civ, Europa Universalis, Freedom, and expansions to Food Chain Magnet, Anachrony, Tricarian, This War of Mine, Treasure Island. Welcome to Essen is packed this year.
Yeah, it's looking like a great convention.
Yeah.
Guys, I just wanted to say something. There is one expansion to Tricarion, the Dalgard's Academy.
That is
And
an
the-
expansion to the expansion.
Exactly. How cool is that? I mean, there is
I
an
love
expansion
that.
for the expansion.
I love that idea.
Yeah. Well, the expansions are cool. We definitely I remember we tried to get in on the expansion for Food Chain Magnate last Essen, but we never got the chance. So I'm glad to see that it's in its more final form. Also, one Byron that you missed was Babylonia, which is a new
Oh, how
Reiner
can I miss
Knizia game. And it looks
Oh, how
good.
could I
It
miss
looks like
him?
the old Tigris and Euphrates and Samurai. So I'm excited to try that one for sure.
Yeah.
Cooper Island, I love, La Granja and all the other publishers. There's some good stuff. Western Empires, though, about that, it's the same guys who did Mega Civilization, but it's only the western half of the map, Ipo. It's not the entire map.
And it's
So-
still 7-hour game.
Shut Up and Sit Down recently talked about it on their podcast. They played a 9-player game and it took a lot longer than 7 hours.
7 hours out in the box. So imagine that.
Yeah. Well, it looks
Yeah,
great.
the playing time, 360 to 780 minutes playing time.
I feel like that's very optimistic.
So if you are a multimillionaire and you're not doing anything at all, you can play this Western civilization. But you're gonna need 8 more multimillionaires in the same situation as you.
All right, guys. Thanks so much. We hope you enjoy that. If you're going to Essen, check out these games. If you're already at Essen, because this is coming out just a couple days before, let us know what you guys thought of these games that we talked about, because we'd love to hear how they were. Let us know on Twitter at TT Sessions QA, and let us know what you're anticipating at Essen, and what you loved at Essen once you're there. So, guys, you know what time it is, right?
What time is it?
It's time for the game show of the week, baby.
That's amazing!
So now that Ipo's back, Byron did not participate.
No. I was there in spirit.
Welcome to Endangerment. This game is in no way related to Jeopardy. Basically, it's Jeopardy. So each contestant gets to choose 3 questions. I'm going to give you the answer and you have to guess the question. You get the points listed under every category. So there are 4 categories: games, news, awards, and publishers/designers. And then you can choose up to 100, 200, or 300 points under each category. Who would like to go first? You're going to go one choice each.
Yeah,
Okay,
sure,
and
I'll
then
go
we'll-
first.
Okay, so Elias, go.
Games for 300.
Damn. Okay, so Elias is starting big. You have been assigned to lead an ancient monastery and its brewery. Now it's your time to brew the best beer ever until under God's blue sky. The fine art of brewing beer demands your best timing. In order to get the best results of your production, you have to provide your cloister's garden with fertile resources and the number of monks helping with the harvest.
When can I answer?
Anytime.
Oh, what is heaven and ale?
Woohoo! Good
Yep.
job.
Oh.
So 300 points for Elias.
That's right, bitches. I'm coming back today. I'm coming back.
Who's up, Ipo or Byron?
I can go.
I'll let Ipo.
Okay,
Yeah.
Ipo,
Go for it, Ipo.
your choice.
Okay, I want the 200 games.
This is a middleweight, Viking-themed worker placement game with dice rolling in which players are leaders of Viking clans who have traveled to an embattled Viking harbor town to help defend it against the threat of trolls, draugr, and other mythological Norse beasts. By defeating these epic creatures, players gain glory and the favor of the gods.
I know it.
When the game ends, the
I know
player
it.
who has
What?
earned the most glory earns the title of Jarl.
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 What is Tad's? What's the name of this? The 2-player game. The Tad's Mahal. No, Tad's
What's
Galar.
his Dutch? What?
Tad's Galar.
No.
What is Tad's Galar?
No.
What is Clans of Caledonia? What is Feast for Odin?
All right, stop. Can I
Okay.
guess?
No,
or-
wait, Byron, you want to try and guess?
It's no points, right?
No.
What is Champions of Midgard?
Correct.
Yeah. Okay,
Never
so
played that game.
Ipo, 0. Okay, Byron, you're up.
I'm going to take News 300.
My man.
Okay, so this is a standalone version of a very popular game designed by Isaac Childress. And at the Shooks convention that took place October 4th till October 6th this year in Vancouver, the designer announced that more is coming. The US retail chain Target will be the seller of this new standalone version of this game that has 24 new scenario campaigns.
I can help you, but I won't.
What is Food Chain Magnet?
What is
Elias,
Gloom City?
No.
Close.
What
Elias?
is Gloomhaven? And the expansion name is
It's subtitle.
They
Yeah.
haven't come up with the expansion name yet.
Yeah. So apparently the expansion, they're going to be selling it at Target. Like it's going to be like a...
Target has been
More-
doing some good shit. They've
Yeah.
been getting a lot of Target exclusives, but that was a good question. They haven't yet come up with the subtitle. I think that's why it's called Gloomhaven Subtitle.
Okay.
I really don't think the final name is Gloomhaven Subtitle.
It's weird because on the box, like
It
the
says
image of the
subtitle,
box.
yeah.
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 Okay, Elias, you're up.
All right, what 300s are left?
Awards and publishers/designers.
300 for publishers and designers.
Okay. Uwe Rosenberg's most recent designed game, 2018?
2018. What was the game? It was about farming, obviously. It was about farming, but in like a greenhouse. Reichholt?
Yeah.
Yes!
Emma.
What?
I confused myself because I wrote "Who is Reichholt?" And then I was like,
What is
"What?"
Reichholt?
Oh, he didn't say what is. You shouldn't get any
Go
points.
fuck a dick,
yeah,
Byron.
yeah.
Go
I was
fuck
ready.
a dick.
I was ready to quit, but after this comment from Byron, yeah, I can stay.
Okay, who's up next?
Ipo.
Ipo.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Publishers 200.
Okay. The designer of Mansions of Magnus, 2nd edition, 2016. He's also the designer of Arkham Horror.
Fantasy Flight Games.
That's not the designer.
Oh, the designer. Sorry, the designer. The designer is a guy that is designing games.
He also designed Arkham Horror. I think he also designed the 3rd edition of Mansions of Madness.
I think you're mistaken, Dima.
Really?
Yeah, because the original designer of Arkham Horror is not the same as the one who designed the 3rd edition.
Oh, she
You're
confused
talking
me.
about
Yeah.
the revised edition of Arkham
Yeah.
Horror.
She confused me.
Okay.
Yeah, Dima,
So
you completely.
either
no,
way,
no.
I'm talking about the designer of Mansions of Madness, 2nd
no.
edition.
Okay, that's
no.
fine.
I would
Designer
like
of
to
Mansions
have
of
a-
Madness 2nd edition is a very fair question.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But
You should know that.
I
Okay,
don't.
so does anyone want to answer?
I mean, I can, but it's kind of fucked up.
But-
I'm answering everything.
Okay, so I'll answer.
No,
Who is Nikki Valens?
Oh, really?
Nikki Valens is an excellent designer, but she's moved on from Fantasy Flight now. But just by the way, Dima, the original designer of Arkham Horror is Richard Lanius, not
Yeah.
Nikki Valens. Nikki Valens did Eldritch Horror
Okay.
with Corey Konieczka, and she did the revised edition of Arkham Horror.
Yes, Dima. Everybody
Okay.
knows that.
Okay, come on, Dima.
You see this?
I was doing it based on memory. Okay, guys. I just remember seeing Arkham Horror. Okay, so Byron?
I'm going to take games for 100 so I can beat Ipo.
In this game, you lead a group of 1 merchant and 4 assistants through 16 locations in the bazaar. At each location, you leave an assistant behind to handle, like, paying to increase your
I know
wheelbarrow
this one.
capacity, filling your
What is a
wheelbarrow with
symbol?
goods. Yes! Good job. So, Byron, so far, you're going 2nd place.
That's where I
Okay.
should be.
So, should we do the last round?
Yeah.
Elias?
What 300s are left and what 200s are left?
So 300, you have awards left. And then 200, you have everything except games left.
Can anyone catch me?
No.
Wait, no, he just did 200s publishers and designers.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Okay. So no one can catch me, so I might as well go for 300 awards.
Okay. So this game won a Golden Geek Award for the best 2-player game of 2018.
You fucker. Okay, let me think.
It's supposed to be the hardest one.
2-player game. of
Because the
2000
2019 awards aren't all out yet. So I just went
Yeah,
with
they're not out at
2018.
all. The Golden Geek Award for the best 2-player game of 2018.
That's very interesting. I want to say.
I think I know it.
Well, I know Hannibal and Hamilcar won the best war game, but I'm pretty sure it didn't win the best. I'm going to say Keyforge.
Wow!
Really?
Yeah.
All right.
Well done.
Yeah, that was
So
my guess.
All my literally spending 6 hours a day at work on BGG hasn't gone to waste.
Okay, Ipo, you're up.
I would like 100. No, I wanted 200 news.
Yeah, you bet if you want a chance of beating Byron. Okay, so which
Oh,
one?
he's got to get the...
200 news.
News. Okay. Before the end of 2019, This new version of Codenames will be released, the latest iteration of Vlada Shvatel's fantastic party game. As with earlier codename titles from the OP, such as Codenames Marvel, this version will feature field agent cards that have a word or name printed on one side and a matching image on the other side.
What? What is
It's a themed version of Codenames, like Marvel.
what is Codenames Vietnam?
No, it's Simpsons.
You know, at least the
Simpsons
jokes are
Codename.
back. The jokes are back. The Simpsons, huh?
Yeah, the Simpsons.
I would not have guessed that. That's tough.
Yeah. Okay,
No.
so Byron, you can go for awards 100, 200, or news and publishers,
You've already beaten
designers
Ipo.
for
I feel the need to
100.
tell you.
So I'll go for news 100 just so I can have some dignity.
Okay. This is the new hotness on Kickstarter. Reached 400,000 of
Oh,
the 40,000 pledge goal. Lucky Duck Games, publishers of Chronicles of Crime, is back with a new story-driven and app-driven game. It's a competitive, narrative, and app-augmented board game of exploration and intrigue.
This should clarify who does the actual research for the news.
The game takes place in the dark fantasy universe.
You do it, Byron.
Wait, you got this. The game takes place in the dark fantasy universe of Joan of Arc and is already funded at 1,100%.
Bro, stop Googling it. I see you. You're on camera.
I'm not Googling, I'm playing with a pen.
I
What
don't
do you
get it.
think?
Is it a fantasy universe with Joan of Arc?
No.
What is the Crusade? I don't know.
The first edition of this game was a Joan of Arc miniatures game.
Oh.
And I think that they for this edition you can use the stuff from Joan of Arc in this version of the game as well. But it's super cool because I think the idea is the computer takes the place of an actual DM, like Dungeon Master. So you can literally play as if you're playing an RPG, but the computer is doing all that for you. That's what they claim. If that's true, that's a bold statement. Oh, is it Time of Legends, Destinies? Is that it?
Yep.
Okay, cool.
Ding, ding, ding.
Well,
Would have been fucked up if I was
I would
talking
never
about the
guess
wrong
that.
things for the.
Okay, so Elias, first place with 900 points. Byron, second place with 100 points.
You did it,
And
bro!
Ipo,
I did it.
last place with 0 points. And that was Endangerment. Thanks for joining us for the game show of the week,
Listen,
folks.
guys, I didn't pick these people for their knowledge of board games.
News are not coming in Greece, guys.
I picked them for their phenomenal personalities. All right. So you appreciate what you have with these fantastic parts. And I don't want to see any comments about how can these people be hosting a board game podcast and know nothing about board games.
did you get those kind of comments?
It's okay.
Now my self-esteem is taken on that.
Knowledge is overappreciated.
All right, folks. So I know it's been a weird episode, so that brings us to the end of this tabletop session. Thank you so
Aw.
much for listening. Please check out our very active Instagram account at Tabletop Sessions. You can reach us through Twitter at TTSessionsQA or join the conversation over at our Board Game Geek Guild. And you can find the links to all of these in the episode description. Please take the time to rate us on iTunes or Apple Podcasts, or rate us through your Android podcast app of choice. That helps us so much to get noticed and to push the podcast. Short of actually helping and donating to the podcast, that is literally the best thing that you can do for us. So if you're an avid listener, just taking the 5 minutes it takes to get on iTunes and rate us will really make a world of difference. We'll be back in 3 weeks. And until then, to quote one of my favorite writers, God damn it, you've got to be kind. And we're so happy that Hippocrates is back. Say bye, guys.
Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.
Byron, clearly when I said the people that know nothing about board games, I wasn't talking about you because you got 100 points. Yeah, I was talking about someone else who didn't get 100 points.
Tabletop,
All of this will be in the podcast.
tabletop, 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 top, tabletop, 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 top, tabletop, 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 Tabletop
Session. Byron, clearly, fire alarm. Byron, clearly, I wasn't talking about you. Oh, fire alarm.
Do you need to evacuate? Because if you're on fire, this episode will be legendary.
Yeah, I mean, I better start recording the video. That's all.
It's gonna be viral.
I love how neither of us got up from our seat.
Okay, all right. Go ahead, Dima.
I concluded the game already.
Sorry, folks, the fire alarm went off. No one of import is on fire.
Good news. We're all
That we know
here.
about.